Hey guys, what's going on? It's a Block Bull right about now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now, today we're going to take a look at this coin right here, Xcn. We are seeing a breakout, but before we dive into the Xcn charts, we're going to take a look at the crypto bubbles on the weekly time frame. We will then scale down into the daily. So this is the weekly. We're doing really well across many different cryptos. We've got Veracity, VRA up 20%, ADA 23.5%, XDC 20.4%, Velo 21.3%, HBAR, Trump, XRP, and Gala all sort of around that sort of 20% move. Now, XCN is down here at 4.4%. It's the only crypto in the red. However, I do believe we're going to see some absolute massive moves over here now. Now, this is the XCN chart, and we have been printing a sort of bull pennant sort of structure ever since. If I do scale out for you guys, I'll even just come out onto the daily time frame here, where we have recently, around sort of Thursday, Friday. This was the 10th of July, 11th of July, where we got that breakout. So we've broken the camel's back there, which is the red line. And ever since, on the daily time frames, we have been producing a sort of a 1, 2, 3, which this is going to be the third wave now in a micro sort of Elliott wave, and eventually we are going to see up to a sort of 5 cents. So hopefully XCN can get up to this sort of 5 cent area before the close of this month. So hopefully by the end of July, we are looking anywhere between, I would say, 3.5 cents to 5 cent. If we do get a close above 5 cent, obviously then we'd be looking at some sort of continuation before we do get up to these all-time highs around sort of 18, 19 cent, where I've got this sort of purple order block. However, in today's video, we're going to be concentrating mainly on these sort of smaller time patterns, because, you know, a lot of people grow frustrated, especially when other cryptos, for instance, like the large caps, XRP, XLM, XDC, now all the ISO tokens are now moving with the launch of the Fedwire services, now implementing the ISO 222 messaging standard. Okay, so this is a 4-hour time frame, and I'll come up for it to you guys. Obviously, I've just highlighted this red line for you guys. So that was the sort of macro sort of resistance. That was the key area. So now we're up into an upwards trajectory now. So it's all going to be up. I would imagine up until around sort of October time. So we're going to have at least, I would say, the best part of 2 to 3 months worth of positive price action. Yes, you're going to get dips. Yes, you're going to get pullbacks. Yes, you're going to see retracements. But anytime you see any sort of pullbacks, even on the smaller time frames for XCN and any other cryptos for that matter, you better be backing up the truck and accumulating, because this is the largest wave. Okay, now like I was saying, this is a bull pennant here, so let's just delete that previous TA for you guys just to clear things up. And then what we'll do is we'll then create this sort of flag pole here. So it doesn't really matter where the flag pole's coming in. You can insert it here, you can insert it here. It doesn't really make too much difference. All we're sort of mocking out this sort of structure is to give you guys a better illustration as to where we're currently trading in the market now. And that for me is not really important at this stage. However, what it would be doing then is projecting this sort of next move, because this is typically what happens when we do exit a sort of bull pennant here. And you can see here, as I scroll in for you guys and sort of zoom in, you can see here from this tip here and also this sort of price action down here, we have been sort of consolidating and we have been ranging into this sort of apex here. So I would imagine any day now, XCN, Onyx coin is likely to get moving again into this next sort of micro wave. So it looks as if we're seeing a breakout now with this bull pennant. So this is fantastic news. Now, when we do see a breakout of a bull pennant, typically what happens is these flagpoles come into play here. So this is a conservative flagpole. Like I say, we could drag it all the way down here. For me, we are splitting hairs, guys. So what I'll do is I'll just make a conservative flagpole. So then I'm not over sort of estimating. At least we are making some sort of gains. Okay, so if we was to duplicate this, we take that from the breakout. So wherever that breaks out, this is where the next move would be expected to go in. And you can see that it's going in around sort of 2 cents 7. Which for me is, let's just see if it actually coincides with any sort of price action here. So that sort of flagpole move, that is just the beginning. I'm not saying it's going to top out there. That's just a micro move. Okay, so you'd expect some sort of small sort of pullback, I would imagine, before we do get the next move towards a sort of blue line, which is marking out the 25 high, okay, which is around 5 cent. So this order block here, this is, like I say, this is just day to day, guys. So over the next few days, I would imagine, especially over the next week, even 2 weeks is stretching it a little bit. So a week today, say going into next week, I would imagine we're up around sort of 3 cent minimum, in my view, or at least 2 cent 8 if you want to be really pedantic. Okay, so this is the order block I'll be looking at now over the next sort of few days, and especially over the next 7 days. Okay, taking us into next week. So if we can start getting up here, that is a decent move. Now, if we just measure that in terms of return on investment, we'll give you guys a really good, accurate breakdown there. So we're looking at approximately 46-47% move. That's just to the bottom of that order block. And if it was to get to the top of that order block, you're looking at around 56% move. Okay. Like I said, this is a sort of small hurdle, I would say. So we might see some sort of consolidation for a couple of days here before we do see the next leg up, which would see us take out that sort of 5 cents. So as long as we're taking out sort of 5 cent before the end or the close of this July month, then I'll be very, very positive going into sort of August. And obviously August, there's not much then for Xcn to overcome. Then there's little resistance then to the upside in terms of these sort of macro charts here. Now let me just delete that. We can see what's going on here. So you can see here this 5 cent area. This is quite a big obstacle in the sort of short term, if you will. But I've got no doubts in my mind that Xcn is going to overcome 5 cent, none whatsoever. Then what we'll look to do is then continue to run up to sort of all-time highs, which is just over 19 cents. So this is what I'm looking at Xcn doing now. This is going to be a humongous move, because coming out of these sort of US elections where we've got that sort of gradual move to the upside, if I just mark in here this sort of vertical line, should I say, Tuesday the 5th of November here, we got this sort of gradual move to the upside. Then we got that massive pump out of here. Yeah, so that for me, like I say, on a sort of Elliott wave scale here, we've got this sort of 1. You could even class this as a 2, a prolonged 2, if you will. And again, that actually marks out the sort of resistance I had marked out in the red earlier on in the video. Then we're going to be looking at creating a third wave now. So this third wave for me is probably going to go up to that sort of $1 sort of mark. We'll probably see a pullback into this sort of region. So this is why it's important. I'm saying to a lot of the guys over in the Discord, if you're not already involved in the Discord, now is probably the best time to get yourselves involved in a Discord, because like I say, we're in a macro wave 3 now, which is the most important time to hodl the bag before we do reach peak 3, because this is where all the money's made, guys, and it pays for itself. If you guys need to access the Discord link, the link is down below. So you get 3 days free trial, okay, and then after that, I think it's about $29.99 per month, okay. If you're not happy with it, you can cancel it anytime, no commitments at all, okay. But like I was saying, we are looking at going into sort of wave 3 here, so this is absolutely massive. We're actually down here on the sort of day to day, week to week, so, and I do expect us to get all the way up here. Now the 5th wave, like I said, guys, it is very, very subjective. I've covered other videos as well in terms of, you know, where I can see sort of price heading in this particular cycle. So there's some fantastic optimistic targets as well that are also being discussed in the previous video. So if you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit this like as well. Hit a like over on the video, because that obviously boosts the algorithm. We can spread the word, and hopefully we can all secure the bag. And it allows me to continue making videos as well, because I will be away Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I've got a lot of work on this week, so it's not as if I'm sat at home born idle. I'm being proactive. So yeah, I've got some work on. So unlikely I'm going to see any videos Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, I could ultimately shoot a video on Friday. However, typically this is across all of YouTube. Typically people are out socializing on a Friday, so I don't typically post anything there. So maybe the next time you probably see me is probably going to be Sunday, and I'll drop another video. Guys, put your comments down below. Let me know what other cryptos you want to see in the market. And I'll try to get them covered for this weekend. Okay, guys, I've been a Block Bull. Until next time, the Block Bull is over and out.